must earn it.
I wasn't going to steal it.
Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we are doing 1988's Bloodsport.
Kumite, kumite, kumite.
Kumite.
Yeah, don't tell nobody.
Don't
The
tell
original Fight Club.
Don't tell nobody, and then tell everybody.
Literally tell the nosiest reporter in the world.
Oh, what a fantastic movie this was.
Unbelievable.
Before we get started, because I'm sure you got a lot to say, because I know I got a ton to say.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have an advertiser this week?
We do. This week we are brought to you by Willard's Dance Academy. Howdy, y'all. My name is Willard, and I run Kansas's finest dance academy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dancing is a sin, right? Wrong. Won't dancing turn me into a gay? Hell no. Ask my wife Rusty how gay I am. But Willard, I'm a fighter, not a dancer. Why not be both? Just like me. Come on down to Andy's Flour Mill just across the tracks in Beaumont. I'm going to teach you to pop and lock, do that hip-hop dance, line stepping, and Kansas's favorite, punch dancing. So kick off your Sunday shoes and come on down to Willard's Dance Academy.
I'm glad there's finally a manly dance studio that I can go to. So
yes, exactly.
There's that. So let's get into Bloodsport, man. I'm going to start off by saying this.
I like it. That pause sums up this whole movie. It's just,
Let me start off by saying this. This movie has balls. Do you know how big your balls got to be as a writer and a director to begin the movie with a training montage?
That barely even a montage. It's a full 20-minute story. It's a short Stephen King book. It was unbelievable. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, what the fuck is... I did not remember the movie starting off that way. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to steal it.
I wasn't going to steal it.
First of all, he looked like Calogero from A Bronx Tale.
Absolutely.
Second of all...
He's not, though. I confirmed that.
Did you look it up?
I looked it up. I'm like, who the fuck? Because he sounded like an American trying to do a French accent, or worse off, Lieutenant Comrade Sergei doing a French accent.
Dude,
it was rough.
Okay.
I was not going to steal it.
So, the beginning of the movie starts off with them setting up the Kumite tournament in Hong Kong, and all of the fighters training for said tournament.
Very borderline just outright racist fighters.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll say borderline. That's A-okay. USA.
Like I get it, but at the same time,
yeah, okay, USA. Let's move along. So they cut to from that, which at the beginning of the movie, it kind of sets it up, and I was like, okay, this is what I remember. Like, this is, they're fighting and training and yada yada.
Sure.
Great. And then they cut to Jean Claude Van Damme in the gym doing his karate workout. And I don't know, whoever, Gomer Pyle comes in and says first of all, he's a captain in the army.
Mm-hmm.
Is
it the army?
I don't know.
It kind of looked Air Force.
It did look
like
a little
the uniform.
Yeah. I mean, he's short enough to fly in one of the planes, so he might have been a captain in the Air Force.
I don't know. Just military in general.
The colonel finds out that he is going to Hong Kong on furlough and going to fight in this Kumite tournament. He wants to talk to him. Jean-Claude's like, well, I need to shower and get out of here.
The secret Kumite tournament.
Yes.
That nobody in China is supposed to know about, let alone the fucking U.S. Army or Air Force or whatever the shit he is.
Yes.
Just some rando colonels like, Dukes, I hear you're going to go fight Kumite. I wouldn't do that. Chong Li's there.
So
be careful. He uses salt as a weapon.
Jean Claude escapes the shower, and he goes to see his old master, and then they get into like that backstory. But the Colonel loses his mind on Gomer Pyle because he lost him, and this is where that scene where the Colonel loses his mind. From there, for the next 20 minutes, I assumed they just didn't have the budget to reshoot those scenes because the voiceover dubs are so bad that, I mean, all of the old like Japanese and Chinese movies that they imported that we overdubbed looked better than what the shit I just saw in this goddamn movie.
You're not gonna call the cops?
Not if we make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
They had a blind and deaf guy do this one because it was when the kids break in. So he does this like it's a flashback to how he meets his master and who taught him. Yeah. So it's him and a couple of his friends breaking in and trying to steal, the sword. And the three kids are in the family room. They have the sword. And then one of the kids says something like, "Oh, we got to get out of here."
You're just gonna stand there? You're gonna grab something. Shit.
None of their mouths are moving.
Yep.
So that's awesome. But anyway, he goes through the whole history, basically. This is the second montage. They go through his whole history growing up, this guy teaching him, their style of karate or whatever. His parents, Jean-Claude's parents, are in this for about 5 seconds as the master's trying to tell them why he needs to learn and why he's going to teach him.
Right.
You never see his parents for the rest of the goddamn movie.
Nope.
They don't explain like whether they died.
And he calls it martial sciences.
Like vines, children need training. Martial science provide a way of training.
Which was kind of weird. It's like, are you trying to con like these morons that don't know what karate is? Because like it was really weird. Like, oh, you're going to be doing physics experiments. I get it. Cool. Nope. Nope. He's literally going to be a punching bag for my son.
And when my son dies, and do they allude to the fact that he died in the Kumite?
No, because that's why JCVD was going to do it, was because his son never had the opportunity.
Okay.
To uphold his honor or whatever the fork.
That was a point of not a point of contention, but a question that I had because they never really say how he died. Yeah,
I kind of, and this could just be me, I kind of took it that he, being the son, died in some sort of military action because the father in his monologue is making a point of saying how he tried to avoid war and he tried to do all these things and now he's lost his son.
Okay.
So I tried to kind of put some dots together there, but the writing left a lot to be desired.
I think that's a stretch.
Yeah. He was look, man, that writer was struggling. I'm trying to help him out.
So I also, they go to the, in this montage, there's a montage within the montage of him learning, the your kung fu. They refer to it a lot in the movie as your kung fu or whatever. So it's basically, I started the split counter during that montage. So
this is how it all began, bro.
This is Jean-Claude's claim to fame, apparently. I got to do a split. It's like Elvis Presley having to sing in every movie he was in. Jean-Claude has got to do a split in every movie he's in.
Dude, if Bruce Lee never took off the way he did, this dude is in Cirque du Soleil. That is the height of his fame, is doing the splits in a Cirque du Soleil show at like 3 times a night in Vegas.
Would you like to know how many splits there were in this movie?
I don't want to, but I feel like I have to.
I'm going to tell you anyway.
Drop it on me.
There were 7 on the split counter, 7 regular splits where he's either in the, where he's like hoisted up and he's in the splits when he's training, or he's on.
That was pretty dope, by the way.
That was a great scene. I dig that scene. And there were 5 additional air splits where in the final,
jumped over people.
No, where he's in. It was literally most of them came in the last fight in the finals of the Kumite, where he's doing the spinning kicks.
Yeah,
but the shot is far enough out where you see both of his legs and feet.
Yeah,
them's full splits in the air, son.
That's a broken wishbone, yo.
That's a broken coccyx. That's something. So,
yes.
So there were 12 in total, 7 regular splits and 5 air splits. So that was the split counter.
Unbelievable.
Aside from the voiceovers being terrible, the storyline is flimsy at best, because the army, for some reason, finds out about the Kumite, sends basically like 2 mailmen to go get him.
It's like Forrest Whitaker and like Mr. Drummond from
somebody
fucking Different Strokes.
I was gonna say it was Forrest Whitaker and somebody from Dragnet. Like those were the guys that go, and they're I'm gonna say lazy about trying to apprehend Jean Claude.
Well, Forrest Whitaker's very gung ho about it. The other guy just keeps interrupting it. Every time Forrest Whitaker's like, "Yo, I'm about to solve some shit," the old guy steps in and interrupts him and is like, "Yeah, we're on vacation in Hong Kong. We're cool. We'll just keep looking around. We're going to hang up some flyers in English, and it'll be all good."
In all of this, there's a random American reporter that I don't know. Does she work for like a local newspaper, like the
She says she's a journalist. I saw 0 credentials whatsoever.
If she's a journalist, so am I. We'll just
I know. I'm not trying to take away from her moment, because women could be reporters and stuff, but she seemed a lot more like a fight groupie than she did like she was reporting on a story. She kept telling everybody she was reporting on a story.
Yes.
But the first person that actually talks to her, she bones out. So,
well,
she's about to get kidnapped by some Iranians until Jean Claude Van Damme steals pennies.
I was going to say. So I want to talk about that scene, because she's literally seconds away from being forcibly raped. He apparently is just like, "No, we make whoop whoop and you're going to like it." And his bodyguards don't let her go away. And then Jean Claude.
Oh, yeah, they're like holding on to her and shit.
Yeah, Jean Claude Van Damme comes in and is like, "Hey, we're not going to fight because we'll get kicked out of the Kumite." Okay. But what I'll do is a magic trick. And if I could do this magic trick, I get to have sexy time with her.
That's the most amazing part. He goes, if I can't do this, you could take her. And she's like, "I didn't agree to that."
What? You can't do this.
Just relax.
Like, no, you can't do that. Like, I want no part of this. That's like being you going to a bar and being like, "Yo, if they miss this field goal, my buddy here will suck yo dick." How the fuck are you betting my mouth on this? Kiss my ass, no.
But then he does the magic trick. He gets the penny because he learned how to grab a koi fish, when he was 19.
Yeah,
so
same.
He gets the quarter out of the Iron Sheik's hand. And then him and the reporter go on this walk, and within hours, she's in love. Like, it's the quickest love story of all time because 2 scenes later, he's got his little freaking bikini briefs on, showing his booty off, like, hey, I gotta go to the Kumite. And she's like, you want to take me? I love you. And he's like, no, I can't do that. She shows up anyway because apparently she gave, I don't know, is it Jimmy the Greek? Who's the guy that bets on all the fights? She like,
Oh, yeah.
she gives him a handy or something to get into the Kumite. You know, she's witness to the Kumite, and she doesn't want Jean Claude to fight in it anymore because Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, almost gets killed by is it Chung Li? Is that
Chong Li? Yeah.
yeah, okay. So he almost gets killed. He's in the hospital. She's yelling at Jean Claude Van Damme about not going back and fighting in the Kumite.
Like they've been married for 20 years.
Here's my note. So I wrote a couple of notes, and first of all, why is Jenny, because that's her name, so clingy? That's one. They've known each other for 2 days.
Yeah.
And she fell in love with Frank or Jean-Claude quicker than a goddamn Hallmark movie. Like,
yeah, here's the thing. I think she cared about him. But the ending shows she didn't fall in love because she just throws up her little fucking peace out sign and he's like, cool. And gets back on the plane. They're good.
That's what I didn't understand. She's an American journalist in Hong Kong writing a story or trying to write the story about the Kumite, and gets all of the story that she needs because she was there for pretty much the whole damn tournament. But when he goes back home, she stays in Hong Kong?
Yeah, apparently. Maybe she's just catching a later flight because she's just cruising around the tarmac in Hong Kong.
I was like, so she's just
saying goodbye to everybody.
She's just
I have zero idea.
She's giving dudes.
Her purpose of being there is really unknown.
Well, exactly. That's another question I had. Like, she just gives a bunch of dudes pickle tickles until she can get her story, and then that's it. Like, okay, we're done.
Which is funny because if she really was a good investigative journalist, if this was Lois Lane, for example, she would have walked up and played a video game with Jackson. Because within 3 seconds of playing a video game with the guy, he goes, you want to see some real shit? Come and watch me fight at the Kumite.
Yeah. Loose lips sink ships, Ogre.
Yeah. Some fucking weirdo just came up. Some weirdo grown man's like, I want to play a video game. And you guys rock out a video game and you're like, shh, yeah, you beat me in this. Come see some real shit at the Kumite. What's that? It's a secret competition nobody else can find, bitch. What are you doing?
Exactly.
It's so weird. Like, she could have avoided all her trouble by going, oh yeah, the big dumb one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop a quarter, literally 1 quarter into this machine and get all of the information I want.
Yeah, she doesn't even have to have sexy time with him.
No,
she just needs to play the karate video game in the hotel.
It's unreal. And if I could take you to the studio meeting that happened after the executives saw this movie, they saw the whole movie first cut shot, okay?
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? It's pretty good. There's just not enough sex in it, Johnson. We need to add more sex. And they're like, well, what did you have in mind, sir? And he said, you know what we need? We need an ass shot. We need a good, solid ass shot.
Of Jean-Claude, right now.
I would know exactly what you have in mind. So they sit the cast down as a team, and they say, team, we need an ass shot. And all the studio execs are looking at the actress that plays Jenny. Jenny, we need an ass shot in this movie. And JCVD goes, no, Jenny, sit down. My ass draw men and women in. Show it. Naked and in bikini brief. That is the weirdest, most unnecessary, gratuitous butt shot in history of the world.
And it
was so unnecessary.
As far as this movie goes, because you get to the tournament, and this is very this brought back your comments that you made about the Karate Kid, where you're like, for the majority of this movie, it's trash. But when it gets down to the tournament time, the tournament was fantastic.
This movie, it's just too much montage.
You're 100% right.
Even the final fight is a montage of just the final fight. It just picks up in all these rando different places. He's blind, he's not blind. He can see a little bit, but not really. Front kick, front kick, front kick, front kick, front kick. It's just like, fuck, dude, I don't need a montage for everything.
Yes.
How do you not look at like something like Rocky, where you go, okay, you montage rounds 1 through 11, and then the 12th round, we're just going to show it.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Montage the rest of the fights. The last fight does not need a 20-minute montage to the same song we've heard through the entire movie.
I made the comment and I wrote a note that it was along those same lines, and not necessarily. I just wrote, how many montages can you have in one movie? Because I think they broke the record. The outside of that, the soundtrack, and here's the great thing about music in a movie. Music in a movie can make or break a movie. You can have a pretty good movie with a horrible soundtrack and a horrible score, and it'll make the movie worse.
Yes.
But you can have a kind of a bad movie with a great soundtrack and a great score, and it could, propel that movie.
Yep.
This was a bad movie with a horrible soundtrack that I think they only had the rights to 2 or 3 songs, and they just kept recycling them throughout the movie. And it made a bad movie worse.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like the music, yeah, it's all bad. I got nothing good to say about it. Like I enjoyed the fight scenes a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh shit, karate, and oh that guy's doing that. That's kickboxing, and oh that guy's fucking jumping around like an asshole, and there's a sumo wrestler. All that shit as a kid was really interesting.
Yeah. Now
that we're living in a world where you see like real MMA, like Muay Thai, judo.
Yeah.
This shit is as ridiculous as fucking RoboCop.
I actually said that.
It's just like, come on, dude.
I said that out loud about halfway through, even though I still enjoyed the tournament and watching some of the guys, and that's cool. About halfway through all of the tournament fights, I was like, there's 10, and I'm not even I'm a casual MMA watcher. So I'm not a huge fan, and I don't even know all the fighters. But I can think of 10 off the top of my head. I don't even know their names that I know that could have gone to that shitty ass Kumite tournament and kicked the hell out of everybody. The only one other question I have about the Kumite tournament, and it revolves around Chun-Li, okay, is he's got tiny hands, big muscles, tiny little fists. Like little tiny hands. So that's
like carny hands.
That's one. The second is, and my wife kept asking me every time they showed him fight, because the big thing is he was undefeated and he killed a guy in the last Kumite.
Yep.
And every single fight they showed him in, she was like, did he kill that guy? Did he kill that guy? What about Jackson? It looks like he killed Jackson. Well, no, Jackson's alive. I'm assuming the other one's alive. He killed one guy in this Kumite, but
for sure, yes.
It looked like he snapped everybody's neck that he fought.
Well, they make a point of saying if Jackson didn't have as hard a head as he did.
Yes.
Which I don't know how you get a calcified skull. Like, what are you, a fucking X-Man?
He is ogre.
I'm with you. Like, Chun-Li, yeah, he might be dope at karate or whatever the shit, but he's kind of murdering everybody.
Exactly.
And just because he did it in the ring on one dude, that's when you turn around?
Yeah.
He murdered other people in the ring. He sent everybody at least to the hospital.
At the very least.
At least to the hospital. but then he kills the one dude in the ring. So I kind of agree with him when he's just like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
After they turn their backs on him,
Yep.
he's like, what do you want? It's a full contact shit. I did it last year. Nobody gave a shit. You invited me back, didn't you?
Exactly.
What did you expect me to do?
So
Unreal. So yeah, Chong Li is a pretty dope character.
He's fantastic.
He's great. As far as a villain is concerned, he's good. And you know he's really good because he works with JCVD for like the next 5-6 years straight.
Yeah.
He's like the bad guy in every movie.
Yeah, exactly. So the overall it's thumbs up or thumbs down on whether this stands the test of time. And I wish we had some really good music right now, because some suspenseful music, because I'm turning this one down.
Me, you, and the Emperor of Rome. All of it.
I'm pretty sure the writer, director, producer, and maybe even Jean Claude himself are turning their thumbs down to this one. This movie was so bad.
Yeah, it's rough. And here's what's astounding to me. 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yes.
Out of 70,000 votes. Ooh. 6.8 out of 10.
Apparently, were they all in the Kumite?
They were all extras. That's how many extras they use for all the Hong Kong shots. One last comment. The scene where he is running from his military police people,
yes.
Forrest Whitaker and the old guy, over the boats. And then he's like pausing and like, oh, hello! And starts running again. They could have shown real fights, made this movie still 92 minutes long, which isn't very long, by showing full-length fights. Cut out the fighting montage and just scrap the bikini underwear, scrap the fucking boat running, scrap the I'm taking quarters and putting in a nickel in your hand. We get it. We saw the opening 20 minutes of this movie. We completely understand that you're an amazing person.
Yes.
This is the real last comment. The military, Forrest Whitaker or the old guy, I forget which one says it.
The government has invested a lot of time and money in you. Uncle Sam can't afford to let you get hurt.
No, they didn't. He learned all this shit as a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't do shit except for maybe teach him how to shoot a gun. But he kind of looked like he was already there. So Uncle Sam didn't put very much into him at all.
No.
He came to the party with food. He thought it was a potluck.
Oh, shit.
So this movie's dog shit. I'm out.
All right. Well, if that's the last word for
Idle out.
For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was Bloodsport 1988. We'll see you later.
You must earn it.
I wasn't going to steal it.